Hi everybody, and thanks for checking out today's yoga sequence. Today we're going to be doing a no mat yoga flow. So you're not going to need a yoga mat today, although if you are partial to having your mat, feel free to roll it out. I also wanted to just take a second to thank you so much for your support of my book Namaste, which is now available to purchase on Amazon or Barnes & Noble or indiebound.org. When you're ready, have a seat on the ground and let's get started. Okay, so today we're going to begin seated on our shins. Roll your shoulders back. And again, if at any point you are doing something that doesn't feel so good, like if this kind of hurts your knees, you can just sit down regularly. So do what you need to do in order to feel good here. Roll your shoulders back. Go ahead and close your eyes. Place your hands on your lap, palms facing up, and you can cup your left hand in your right and let your thumbs just gently touch each other. Begin to breathe in and out through your nose, making your inhales and exhales of equal length. Just taking some deep clearing breaths to let go of any to-do lists, any thoughts, any distractions. See if you can let them fizzle out with each exhale. When you are ready to begin, bring the sensation of a smile to your face. And as you breathe into that, just notice how good that feels, how positive you feel. And let that positivity fuel you throughout your practice today. And on your next inhale, come forward for a child's pose. Reach your arms out in front of you, let your head be really heavy. Reach as far as you can, but then use gravity to pull your hips down towards your heels and then gently press into your hands, maybe even into your forearms, until you feel a good stretch through your armpits. You can even kind of press side to side, so press into your left arm and then your right, just to open up a little bit deeper through the armpits and the shoulders and chest area. On your next inhale, make your movement like a dance. Begin to round through your spine until you come onto all fours. And once you are on all fours, move forward with your hips forward until you come into a little bit of a cobra pose, and then gently curl your toes and reach your hips back towards your heels, and then press into your big toe mounds until you find a good stretch through the bottoms of your feet. We'll do that whole thing again, but keep your toes curled this time. Inhale, round through your spine, letting your head come forward last. Coming into that cobra pose, draw your shoulders towards, shoulders back behind your shoulder blades towards one another, and then gently come back into a child's pose with the toes curled. Then inhale, round forward onto all fours, and curl your toes, lift your hips for your first downward dog of the day. So it's your very first one, so make any movements you need to in order to warm up and feel good, and slowly find your way into stillness when you are ready. Inviting your heels to come down to the ground, but don't worry if they don't get there. On your next inhale, you're going to rise up onto your toes and push the ground away from you even more. So you're finding this like little arch through your back. And then you're going to round through your spine until you come into a plank position. And then roll over to the knife edge of your right foot and lift your left arm, stack your feet. On your next inhale, lift your left leg high, spread your left toes, lift your hips. And then slowly bring your knee in towards your left armpit. Look down at the ground and gently place your left foot on the ground. Once you're there, rise up into warrior one. Hips are facing forward, hands to your heart. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Inhale, lift your arms up overhead. Exhale, fingertips come down to the ground. From here, you're going to lift your back leg as high as you can, coming into a standing split. Who cares how high you get? And then as you exhale, you're going to bend that knee and come into a seated twist. So you're bringing that right knee back behind you, left fingertips in line with your spine. Inhale, lift your right arm and hook the elbow to the outside of your left knee, looking out over your left shoulder with your right eye. On your next inhale, lift your right arm and windmill your arms down. Now you're going to come to face what would be the long edge of your mat. Pigeon toe, stand so you are slightly pigeon-toed. Then as you inhale, lift your head, long arms, and as you exhale, bring your hands in line with your toes. Look straight down to the ground. Breathe into the backs of your legs. On your next inhale, bring your hands to what would be the front of your mat and begin to turn your feet and walk to what would be the front of your mat. And as you exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step into a plank position. And once you are there, roll onto the knife edge of your left foot and lift your right arm. Lift your top leg, lift your hips, spread your toes, pull your knee in towards your armpit and slowly step your right foot down, finding your way into warrior one. Hands to your heart, hips facing forward, breathe. Inhale, lift your arms, fingertips come down to the ground, standing split on the other side. Who cares how high that leg gets? And then when you're ready, slowly bend your left leg, bend your right leg, and slowly come down into a seated spinal twist. Bringing your right fingertips in line with your spine. Inhale, lift your left arm. Exhale, hook the left elbow to the outside of your knee, looking out over your right shoulder with your left eye. Inhale, lift your left arm. Exhale, windmill your arms down. You're going to come into what would face the other long edge of your mat. Inhale, I'm just going to turn because it's weird for you to be staring at my butt. Inhale, lift your head, and then as you exhale, take your peace fingers of both hands, grab hold of the big toes. You are slightly pigeon-toed, and then pull using your bicep strength to come down towards the ground. If you had a mirror, like over here, you would see that your hips are in line with your ankles. So you might need to rock forward a little bit to shift the weight. When you're ready, gently release long arms. You can turn to what would be the front edge of your mat and step forward to the front. And then take your feet about hip distance and slide your hands underneath for gorilla pose. So you're going to slide your hands underneath your leg, underneath your feet, so much so that your toes come to touch your wrists. And then option to hang out here in stillness or rock forward and backward gently, giving yourself a little massage on the hands. And then gently release. On your next inhale, heel toe your feet together and sit low for chair pose. Squeeze your legs together. You should be able to look down at your feet and see the majority of your toes. Long spine. Inhale, come to stand in Tadasana. Inhale, lift your arms. Exhale, swan dive forward. Fingers in line with your toes, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step, hop, jump, walk, fly to back, and hold here in plank. From here, you're going to come down onto your forearms, making sure that your elbows are underneath your shoulders. And then as you inhale, we're going to come into that side plank on the right side, but on your forearm. From here, come into a tree pose with your left leg. And we'll take it to the other side. And come back down into your forearm. plank, and then walk your feet forward until you find your way into Dolphin Pose. Keep pushing the ground away. And then when you're ready, rise up onto your toes, bend your knees until you come into a wide knee child's pose. And then on your next inhale, bring your elbows in towards your body. Grab hold of opposite biceps, not opposite elbows. Then interlace your fingers and press your hands into the ground. Then bring your head down onto the ground. The hands are supporting the back of the head. You're going to begin to push into the ground until your upper back rounds. Then curl your toes and lift and walk forward. Maybe all you're going to do today is stay here, or maybe you will lift one leg and come into a headstand. I'm going to be here for about 10 breaths. Feel free to do whatever you want with your legs. And let your 10th breath come down into a child's pose. On your next inhale, round forward onto all fours. Curl your toes, lift your hips, downward dog. As you inhale, rise up onto your toes, bend your knees, and quietly hop to the front. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up, arms up overhead. Exhale, hands to your heart. And then begin to sink low until you come into a seated position. And find your way into boat pose. Then bring your right leg down, cross your left over your right. Bring your right hand down in line with your hip. Then come out diagonally to the right. So if you drew a diagonal line from your hip, it would touch your hand. Then bring your left arm in front of your left shin. Grab hold of the bottom of the left foot, or the bottom of this is not the left foot, the right foot, or the bottom of the shin. And then when you're ready, rock and roll, get up, and come into baby grasshopper pose. Hold here for 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 breaths. Your right arm's about 90 degrees. Hips are lifting, chest is low, shoulder blades drawn toward one another. Gently release. And we'll take it to the other side. So you'll cross right leg over left. And left hand is in line with the hip, and then out to the left. Right arm comes in front of the right leg, grabbing hold of the left lower shin or the bottom of the left foot. And then when you're ready, inhale, rock and roll, sit up, and lower down. So chest is low, and your left elbow is about 90 degrees. Spread your left toes. Hips are lifted, chest is low, shoulder blades drawn toward one another. And when you're ready, gently release. From here, bring your arms out in front of you and slowly lower all the way down. And once you get there, bring your knees into your chest and rock side to side, just letting go of any tension in your low back. Then from here, lift your legs so they're parallel, the shins are parallel to the ground, and cross your left leg over your right. Then I want you to scissor your legs open. So scissor your feet out to the side. Flex the feet gently. Then as you inhale, exhale and lift your head and upper back and grab hold wherever you can. Maybe the bottoms of the feet, maybe the lower parts of the shins, and then lower your head back down. You should feel this in the outer edge of your left hip and your IT band. It's a really great stretch for runners. You can rock side to side or stay in stillness. And when you're ready, gently release and take it to the other side. Crossing right leg over left, scissor the shins out to the sides. Then take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, lift up and grab hold wherever you can, and then bring your head and your upper back down. Keep the toes gently spread. And breathe into whatever it is you're feeling. And when you're ready to release, gently release and unravel your legs, lowering them down to the ground for Shavasana. Turn your palms up to the sky, arms are heavy, legs are heavy, and then let your eyelids close, let the eyes sink into the sockets. Mouth is closed, but your teeth are apart, and now you can let go of your ujjayi breath, of your intentional breathing. Just let the breath come on its own. I'm going to be here for about 5 minutes, so just settle in. I'll let you know when Shavasana is complete. Begin to wiggle your fingers and toes, and then roll over onto your right side. Then sit yourself up into a comfortable seated position. And bring your hands to your heart. Close your eyes, just taking a second to acknowledge your health and your commitment to practice today. And when you're ready, seal in your practice with Namaste. Thank you so much for practicing with me. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please take a second to consider joining in one of our upcoming yoga retreats. We have one coming up in July of 2016 in Greece, in Santorini, Greece. And you can find that I will actually just put the link in the description box. And our second retreat after that is going to be in Kenya. It's a Kenya safari yoga retreat. It's a bucket list trip. I'm really excited for that. And I will put that link as well. And we have some others in the works, and once those are finalized, I will update this and put it in the description box below as well if you're watching on YouTube. Or you can check out YogaByCandace.com. There's a little section at the very top of the page under retreats and events, and you'll be able to see them there. Thanks again, and I will see you next week with more yoga classes.